It's the day of Ferrari's 2020 launch. It's an exciting day any year for both Formula One and Ferrari, the launch of one of the front-running cars this year. Certainly Ferrari hope so. And to celebrate the day, I've got here a bit early, and I've decided to trace the roots of Enzo Ferrari, Ferrari's famous founder. So it seemed sensible to start here. This is the Museum Enzo Ferrari in Modena, and behind me is the old workshop, which is father owned, and it's where Enzo Ferrari was born. Now legend has it he was born on the 18th of February 1898, but his father couldn't get to the registry office to notify them of his son's birth, and in fact Enzo Ferrari's birth date went down as 20th of February. He used to grow up there. He shared a bedroom with his brother, and they used to be woken up by the sound of the metalworks underneath them, and Enzo Ferrari's story and the history of Ferrari is largely based in Modena as a result. So today the plan is to take a look around Modena, see some of the sights. Ferrari have given me the brilliant equipment for the job, which is a Ferrari Portofino, and the idea is basically to track a little bit of the history and then eventually turn up in Reggio Emilia, where Ferrari will be launching their 2020 car. I'm now outside Enzo Ferrari's apartment block. In fact, it's a whole building that he owned. It's 11 Largo Garibaldi, and it's opposite this beautiful fountain right in the centre of Modena, only about a kilometre away from where he was born. It's where he died as well. He died there on Sunday, August the 4th at 6 o'clock, and it's strange that this is where the story ended, and so close to where it began. So I'm on the street of Enzo Ferrari's old headquarters, and as I said earlier, sadly it's been bulldozed. You can't see it anymore. There's a car park there, and that was done with Enzo Ferrari's blessing in January of the year he died, 1988. And there's really not much to see, sadly, but you can imagine this was the street where they used to run the early prototypes up and down, all those Alfa Romeos that they'd tweaked and done their work with, and he used to base them all out of here. What a remarkable place, what a remarkable history, but sadly there's really not much left. And then there's this place, Maranello. This is kind of where the story ends, but Enzo Ferrari moved his company here in 1943, and it's been here ever since. The site was actually bombed during the war and he had to rebuild, but the idea was to build his own factory where he could produce his own cars to take on the Alfa Romeos that he'd been racing before. The shift changed to producing cars not just to go racing for the Scuderia Ferrari, but also for customers. A lot of those customers race themselves. Some just wanted to be associated with the growing brand that was Ferrari. And of course it's the same is true now today. You have the road cars like this one which are built here, and you have the race cars. The site itself is spread over pretty much half of the town of Maranello, but this is where it all happens. This is where it all is, and this is what Ferrari built and the legacy that he has. The road car side of the business he was quite happy to hand over to Fiat in 1969. He signed away 40% of the company. Ferrari wanted to keep control of the Scuderia Ferrari because that's always what mattered to him, the racing team, the results they got on the track. Cars like this, I mean, they're beautiful, they're wonderful pieces of engineering, but what really matters is what happens on the track, and I think if Ferrari was still alive today, he'd believe the same. So having come up to the Abbertoni Pass, it only seems right to drive a bit and hopefully show you a bit of it. The roads are incredibly tight, there's not much space, but it is a fantastic place to get a little idea of how this car performs. The really nice thing about driving a car like this, especially in Italy, is the little looks and smiles you get on people's faces, especially some of the older people. I was quite surprised. I thought they might think it was a bit antisocial, but they seem to like the Ferraris driving up from Maranello through their little villages. But it also makes you wonder what Enzo Ferrari would have thought of this car. This is the Portofino. It's very much the entry-level Ferrari, but that's still something, I can tell you. The performance is incredible, as you might expect. It's not a racing car, which of course Enzo Ferrari was so fond of. It is very much a road car, but he had no problem whatsoever with selling his cars, often decked out in leather and made rather nice inside, to customers willing to pay. and ultimately that money would be put into his Formula One team and also his racing team to go and win races. It's been a fantastic day. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a bit of the history of Ferrari. That was the idea, to show a bit of that. And by now you would have seen the future of Ferrari, the Ferrari F1 car for 2020. I'm about to go inside and see what it looks like, and you can keep up with its progress during the season on ESPN.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.